Okay, and I just want to make sure I can do that. Sure, okay, thank you.
Pass those down.
Is that not
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be starting the meeting now. I want to welcome everybody here, the community board members and the residents. It's Wednesday, February 26th, and it's 7 o'clock. Robin, will you give us the presentation of the allegiance?
Face to the flag?
Yep.
On three. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
To the republic, which stands
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
We're going to be doing the presentation now on both the Office of Administrative Trials and Hearings. Rachel Ahmad, the Senior Advisor to the Commissioner, NYC, will be giving the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you guys all hear me? You'll hear me even better now. Thank you to Jeff and Eddie and the community board for having me this evening. Just for a show of hands, can anyone tell me if they've heard of oath before? Okay, wow, that's great. That means we're doing it means we're doing a better job of at least letting people know who we are. But yes, to address this gentleman's point, what's your name? Michael. So my goal here today is to have you familiar with our agency enough that we give you access to justice, which is something we pledged when we pledged allegiance, right? Justice for all. So while I acknowledge your frustration and maybe having to deal with us,
I'm a business owner, so.
I get it. But I want you guys to know here that my one goal here is to offer you procedural justice, right? I'm not here to try to encourage you to pay for a summons. I'm here to tell you about our agency and empower you. So I'm glad that some of you know what oath is. For those of you who don't, oath stands for the Office of Administrative Trials and Hearings. And I'm actually going to open up the website.
Share.
Just click share. Okay.
Mouse is here.
Oh.
Here we go.
Great.
You got it.
Okay. And for those of you who are not so familiar with oath as an agency, we're unique in the city of New York because we're not only a city agency, we're also a city tribunal. What does that mean? We're like a court. We're the city's administrative law court, where anyone who receives a summons from an enforcement agency that's returnable to oath can come to fight that summons. And that's what I really want to impress upon all of you. I realize, let's just for a show of hands, can you tell me if you're a homeowner? Okay. And if you're not a homeowner, can you raise your hand if you're a renter? Okay. And can you also raise your hand if you're a parent of children in high school or younger? Okay, so it's good to know who's here tonight. So oath interfaces with all of you in some way, right? Or can affect you in some way. Oath has 3 adjudicatory bodies. We have our hearings division, which is what I'll focus on this evening. We also have our trials division, which is where mostly city employee issues that are more complex get adjudicated if they need to go to a trial. And we also have our newest division, which is called the Special Education Hearings Division. So if you're a parent of a child in school in New York City and they have some kind of special education needs, this is the place after they are seen by a Department of Education professional and there's determined that there's a need for special education resources, they would go to an oath hearing to figure out what exactly that would be, if it would be tuition reimbursement and how that would get applied. So we took over that division, I think over 2 years ago now, and that was really to streamline the process because the Department of Education had taken a lot of time with these hearings and it wasn't acceptable for New York City parents. So now there's more rules in place in how long those hearings can actually take. And every hearing officer, every special education hearing officer in our agency does not have the liberty to say no to a case because it's too complicated. In the past, in the Department of Education, they could say no to a hearing if they felt like it was too complex. I mentioned to you guys in the beginning that oath is impartial and independent, and I want you to understand what that really means to you. It means that I, as an employee of oath and my agency, including everyone that works there, they're impartial to any summons that you receive. So you received a summons, I had nothing to do with that, nor did anyone in my agency. No, and I'm just explaining as an example. But what's really important to know is we're also not coordinating with the enforcement agency. So we are the city of New York and we're part of the government, but we're not telling Department of Sanitation, you know what, I was just at Community Board 13 and I was driving down Ocean Parkway and I noticed that there were houses and businesses that need, they have dirty sidewalks and sanitation should come take a look. We're not doing any of that. We're not communicating with the enforcement agencies to tell them how to enforce. What we're here for is to let you know that you have an avenue to fight your summons and you can get access to justice. So I just want to go into a little bit more about how to do that. As I mentioned, we have our hearings division, and this is like a little fun fact. If you are a homeowner and you get a sanitation summons there and you fight it, right? You have greater than a 50% chance of it being dismissed. And there's all sorts of reasons for that. But that should encourage you to fight your summons, especially if you believe that it was not served correctly or you should not have received one. So during the pandemic, we changed a little bit how we handle the summons process. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit, but I want you to know these are all the enforcement agencies listed. Can you guys all see them? I know the print is a little bit small, but can you read it? I would love to do that. I might need some help from you though. Yeah. No, don't.
Control plus, even I know.
Okay, perfect.
But I see it.
So all these enforcement agencies have the potential to write summonses that are returnable to oath. So I think you all received one of these nice, pretty infographics that I helped create that. And this is supposed to make the process simpler, so you don't have to memorize anything except for this one point. Since the pandemic, there is a two-step process. If you get a summons and if you look, step one says, check your hearing date. And you see it circled in red here. And if your hearing date is, let's say 2 months from now, and you're like, okay, I'll fight it in 2 months. I'll go to oath in, what is 2 months from now? I'll go into oath like May 1st. And I'll fight it. One problem. You can't just come in, even if you have a hearing date. You have to communicate with oath to let us know how you want to have that hearing. Do you want to have it by phone? We make it easy for business owners to respond, right? You don't have to drag yourself. You guys are in South Brooklyn. We're all the way in Bond Street. That's a real big trek, right? So most of these summonses, you do not have to go in person to respond. And that's one of the things that we've done since the pandemic started. But what you do need to do is you need to communicate with us to tell us how you want to have your hearing. And that's an important distinction, because if you want to have it by phone, you actually need a PIN number. So I'm going to go through that step with you. But so if you are unfortunate to receive a summons and you want to fight it, you want to check your hearing date. You want to make sure that it is actually returned to oath. Sometimes you get like a red camera summons, right, or ticket. And you think, okay, there was a lady here that talked about summonses, so that's where I fight it. Unfortunately, but unfortunate for you that you got the ticket, but we don't handle red light summonses. We don't handle moving violations or DMV tickets. That's all, you know, depending on who issued it. It's either Department of Finance, DMV. And we also don't handle transit adjudication bureau summonses. So if somebody gets a summons for not paying their fare, it would not come to oath. But we do handle most of the city summonses. So once you see that it comes to oath, you're in the right place and you should follow these steps. So you want to decide, do I just want to pay? It's $25. I don't want to waste my time. We, as an agency, encourage you to fight your summons if you believe that this was wrongly issued to you, even if it's $25. Why? They might continue to give you summonses. So if you pay this, what are you going to keep paying every $25 summons you get? Exactly. You shook your head. No, I agree with you. To use myself as an example, I'm a homeowner and I own a house right across from a private school. And unfortunately, kids seem to eat their lunch outside sometimes. And I have a bunch of garbage that blows onto my property every day. And I'm like mortified of getting a summons because I work at oath. So what do I have to do? As a homeowner, I have to clean my property twice a day, right? What does that mean? I wake up in the morning, and this morning I saw it. I had a newspaper on my property and I had like a styrofoam cup, cleaned it up. My husband, when he comes home, he cleans it up. What are we doing? We're following the rules. The rules state you have to clean your property twice a day. That's like the key thing to remember. When you follow the rules and you go to a hearing and you say you followed the rules and you explain what you did, that is how you provide evidence to the hearing officer that you are in compliance and that you're requesting that they dismiss your summons. The hearing officer is going to come to the hearing or be on the phone at the hearing, listening to the evidence that you provided on why you believe your summons should be dismissed. And they want to know that you know what the rules of the city of New York are and that you were not in violation of what the enforcement agency indicated you were in violation for. Does that make sense? Pretty simple, right? And I want you all to know that when you've decided not to pay and you're going to fight, you can also sign up for text messages. So, you know, we go to the doctor and we get a text message. This is your doctor's appointment. It's sort of inevitable that everything is happening electronically these days, but it's also a way to help you. I know I'm super busy. I have a young son, and every minute, like, I'm distracted with something else going on after work. So to have a text message reminder, it helps me. So that's something that you can opt into. We do not automatically sign you up, but if you do get a summons, try to remember that that service is available because it's just there to help you so that you don't forget about it. So when you're preparing for your hearing, when you responded to your hearing, not to single you out, but did you use our hearing by phone system?
Yes.
Okay. Was it pretty easy to use?
Yes, I did a follow-up and I missed the follow-up.
Okay.
For the date.
Okay, so I'm glad you told me that. So we try to make it easy. When you do have a reschedule, you're entitled to reschedule your summons one time without any questions. And you can, when you do that, it's important to know, some people have restrictions because of a wedding, a personal matter. Some people don't look at their calendars carefully enough. And when you do, we encourage you to be very thorough. So if there's like maybe a religious holiday, a family event, something that you know you're not going to be around for, it's important to state on that reschedule why the dates that you're not available, so that when Oath gives you a date, it's a date that you can actually show up to. So once you figure out when you're preparing for your hearing, you're going to do two things. One, you're going to say, do I need a lawyer? If you got a summons from the Department of Sanitation for a dirty sidewalk, I can't give you legal advice, but those are fairly straightforward summonses, and you can absolutely represent yourself. If you have questions about that process, you can reach out to the help center. If you're not getting answers to your questions, you can always reach out to the community board, and they have a direct line to reach me every day. So no matter what, you should be able to get a response. And if you decide you want an attorney, that's fine. We don't think that you have to get an attorney. But if you don't get an attorney, you have access to the help center, and they will help you as long as you do not have representation. And what does that mean? It means if you're trying to figure out what evidence you should be using, they can't, again, give you legal guidance, but they can tell you, you know what? Your hearing is in a week, and you just told me your architect is vacationing in Aruba, and you need those documents. So they can tell you, you should get those documents for your hearing, because you cannot provide those documents after your hearing as evidence. And this is something important that all of you should know, that you got one shot to provide all of your evidence. If you're not prepared for that one shot, reschedule. Because the worst thing that could happen is you are really innocent, but you can't prove it because your architect is vacationing in Aruba. And that's just like something that you don't want to hear. And you're going to get tired of me talking about your architect in Aruba, but it's very frustrating if you know you're innocent and you don't have everything you need to have for the day of your hearing. So by contacting the help center, it might help you figure out what documents you can present, and also what other things that you can do. You can gather witness statements, you can submit photos, you can get video evidence. So it's always good to contact the help center, but make sure you do it at least, I would say, 2 weeks before your hearing, because you also need to decide if you're going to respond by phone, if you're going to go in person, if you want to do a one-click hearing. Most of the summonses, the violation codes will allow you to do a one-click hearing. What does that mean? You don't need to talk to anyone. You can submit all of your evidence, include the summons number, include your defense. And you can do this even before your hearing date, and you could say, okay, I'm done. As a business owner, that might be really helpful because you don't have to wait for somebody on a phone call on the day of a hearing. You don't have to go in person. You avoid a lot of bureaucracy. So I just want to make sure that you are well armed for all of the options. And another summons you can get is a quality of life summons, which the council referred to as CJRA summonses when they passed legislation in 20, I think it was 15 already. Wow, it was a while ago. So those summonses could be anything from being in a park at night after dark, right? There are laws that say the parks usually post the times, but sometimes those signs are missing, and you could actually get a summons for being in the park after a certain time. And you might not know that that was the time, or you might have a different time than, you know, the officer has, and he's like, it's 10, and you're like, no, it's 9:55, and you want to fight the summons. You have every right to do that. Those quality of life summonses are actually eligible to do community service. So even if you're still found in violation, you could opt for community service, and the hearing officer will tell you that, and you can do that instead of actually paying for the fine. So I wanted to make sure you knew about different programs that we have, and different pathways to access justice, even if maybe you're found in violation. What's important to know is you should definitely respond to a summons. What happens if you don't respond? If you own property and you decide 10 years from now you're going to retire in Florida or Panama City, and you have a lien on your property. And the buyer says, you know what, I'm not waiting 2 weeks for this lien to go off because I need to move in a month and it's not gonna be ready for me. So they're gonna say, okay, sorry, but I need to go somewhere else. You don't want that to happen to you. That's the last thing you want. Especially if you've been a homeowner in good standing your whole life, you don't want to deal with issues like that. So I say respond because it's always the fines will be less, the aggravation will be less, and you're less likely to have any penalty or interest accruing. So just to go over this infographic, which I think is pretty helpful. The last point that I want to make is once you decide how you're having your hearing, if you want to do it by phone or in person, you have to contact Oath, depending on if you're doing it in person or by phone, between 3 to 5 business days. So to avoid any confusion, I always say do everything a week ahead of time, because then you're ahead of the game and they can't tell you it's 7 business days. You can't do this. You have to wait till it's 3 or 5. They'll take care of it. Just don't do it 30 days out because it becomes too bureaucratic for everyone. Chances are not everyone's organized enough and will keep the information handy 30 days out. And it's also, we're dealing usually with hearings that are a week or 2 ahead of us, not ones that are a month out. So that's a little bit on our hearings division. We hear over 800,000 summonses a year. So a lot of summonses come to Oath. And I came here today to really explain that process and also to see if anyone had any questions.
I have 3 questions.
Sure.
So, the first question goes with the calendar. Does Oath follow the same calendar as the photos put out in the regular courts?
So it's a great question. I don't know what their calendars put out, but we count as business days. Yeah,
Next question.
Yeah.
The hearing officers are all attorneys?
yes. And they're all,
Not the attorney.
every single judicial hearing officer is an attorney, and they also, besides being trained as an attorney, they go through hearing officer training, which I've also been trained in as well.
Last question.
Okay,
You said about the clip, that's, going to public papers.
wait, sorry, I said about
The one clip,
1 click, yes.
that's papers. So you go to the judge, you don't have to submit it,
But
see what happens. My question is,
let me clarify, that's online.
I understand,
Oh, okay,
but I'm thinking the same, that you go to the courtroom, your lawyer hands you something, the judge just does it based on the paper.
the evidence,
Right, on the evidence, and he makes a decision.
correct.
Is there a way to then, let's say you do it that way, one click, to appeal that? That's the last question. Can you appeal any of these things?
So I'm so glad you talked about appeal because I didn't get into that and it's a very important question. Yes, is the simple answer. And I'm gonna explain that a little bit more. It doesn't matter how you submitted your hearing, you can appeal anything. The one thing you can't do when you appeal, which is why I stress the importance of submitting all your evidence, is you cannot introduce new evidence on appeal. The only thing you can do is go after procedural issues, right? You can say, I followed the rules, I submitted this evidence, the hearing officer did not provide a comment in the decision that was mailed to me on my defense. This is a procedural issue that I'm appealing. That you're in every right to do. What you can't do, which I said you guys were gonna get sick of me talking about the architect in Aruba. You can't say my architect came back from Aruba and here's the evidence, right? You can't do that after your hearing date. And I say that not only to make people laugh, but also as a reminder, make sure to get all your evidence before your first hearing. And then the other option after appealing, if you still feel that you are correct and that Oath is not accurate and they denied your appeal, you still have the option of taking an Article 78 and going to the higher court. So that's correct. It's it. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. We'll take one more question.
I think he had a question.
I went before.
Judicial hearing
I
officer.
could go on officer once. One case, it was against the building department. The building department appealed it, and I couldn't appeal what they had. Appealed my decision,
Okay,
and I got fined. And I couldn't appeal that.
So they didn't agree with the decision by the hearing officer? That does not,
This is
hap-
years ago.
yeah, that doesn't happen very. That doesn't happen very often. I think I'm actually curious to know. It does happen. I'm just saying, I don't know if the rules have changed regarding to your building's situation since that happened.
They put it on the wrong, they wrote the violation to the wrong property. Okay, and I gave them proof that there was an air conditioner that was put on the roof,
Mhm.
and they wrote it to the wrong. block and
Address.
lot, Block and lot,
Okay,
not the address.
Okay.
The block and lot,
okay,
okay, and I gave them proof that it wasn't on. And the court officer agreed with me, the procedure, they agreed with me, and I walked out of there smiling. I got a notice from the building department appealed it.
oh,
And they said, no, it doesn't matter, we did this, you gotta pay the fine, and I had to pay a fine. On something I shouldn't have to pay a fine.
did you go in person for the hearing?
This before the pandemic.
Yeah, and the buildings department didn't show up for the hearing. Oh, they did,
They-
okay,
they were there.
okay,
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
thank you.
So, Rachel, let's give it up for Rachel.
And I also have these notebooks, so everyone can feel free, do you want me to hand them out? Yeah. And it has our website, so you'll never forget who we are.
Moving along, as they're giving out the booklets. The public session, Thomas Opel, Community Liaison, NIA Community Services Network.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay. I hope they can get it in the back. Thank you so much. Thanks for the good question.
Quick, as you guys know, we've had several events in the community. We have an upcoming event coming up in Gargiulo's on March 15th, partnering with Justin Brandon's office. It's a Women's History Month, brunch. It's in the afternoon. You have to contact Justin Brandon's office to make reservations for that. The other thing is, we're also asking if anybody in the community has old paint supplies or knows anybody who's an artist and would like to help us improve the Cary Gardens cornerstone. It's kind of run down. We inherited it in June of this year, of this past year, 2024, and we're really trying to make it look a lot more aesthetically pleasing for the children, especially at the gymnasium and front when they walk in. So if there's any artists out there who'd like to partner with us on making that space look nice, we'd really appreciate that. So NIA bklyn.org. You can reach out to us. Again, thank you for your time, and we'd like to see the women at the Women's History Lunch on March 15th. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Next speaker is Anna. No, Anna Daisy.
The fight for Coney Island has not ended. It is only just beginning as we slowly go into spring. Pretty soon, the amusement area opens up Easter Sunday. And once that happens, we will get the usual suspects, if you will. Peddlers from as far up to the aquarium to as far down as the parachute tower, blocking the boardwalk, along with e-bikes, e-scooters, and mopeds, and mobility scooters, all electric powered. And there have been too many close calls on that boardwalk where somebody can just zip by you, and before you know it, you're flat on your behind on the boardwalk. Too long this has gone on with hats, nutcrackers, beer, wine, they're starting to mix cocktails on the beach and sell them. I have seen this for myself. And the cry from the community goes unanswered, along with lack of trains during the season, where almost every line is rerouted every weekend from Easter to Halloween. It has to stop, all of it has to stop, you can't have one without the other. How are you gonna have, let's just say, a casino, and then you're gonna have peddlers run around the corner? And please, let's try to repurpose art walls. For too long, it has become just this wall of noise on summer nights with the, again, nutcrackers, marijuana, people with 10-foot snakes and turtles the size of bulldogs on the sidewalks, and you can't walk. The Mermaid Parade, every year, we have no less than 3 trains rerouted religiously. And we have lack of enforcement on the boardwalk where we're walking single file. And there's peddlers to the left and peddlers to the right. Also, how about lifeguards? What's going on with that? Meanwhile, we could
Wrap it
have,
up.
yes, I will, we could have Navy Reserve watching that beach. It would work. You've got the National Guard at Penn, why not have Navy Reserve on the beach?
Thank you. Our next speaker is Veronica Perez, Director of Health Insurance Counseling at JCCI.
Hi, my name is Veronica Beres, and I serve as the Director of Health Insurance Counseling Center at Jewish Community Council of Greater Coney Island. The Health Center has been operating for more than 19 years, initially focused on providing guidance and consulting to Medicare recipients, primarily due to the Medicare Modernization Act. Our organization established the Health Center to assist the thousands of seniors impacted by the complex Medicare Part D legislations. Despite initial expectations, our Health Center continues to be overwhelmed by urgent requests from confused seniors who need hands-on assistance in selecting, enrolling in, and transitioning between plans that best suit their needs. We help our clients save money by enrolling them in local, state, and federal programs such as Extra Help, Medicare Savings Program, EPIC, and others. Seniors seek qualified independent assistance, and our center is able to provide that support. We are completely independent from any insurance companies or healthcare service providers. Our sole goal is to help our clients find the best solutions for their individual needs. We provide services to clients from all 5 boroughs. Once a client comes to us, they often become our permanent client because of the trust they place in our services. After all, it's about their health and financial well-being, which are the most important aspects of life for elderly people. We are working very closely with the Office of Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Office of Assemblyman William Colton, helping clients of many community centers, such as JCH of Bensonhurst, Shorefront White, Shorefront JCC, many daycares, JASs, pharmacies, and medical offices. They refer their clients to us. In prior years, much of the funding for Health Insurance Counseling Center was provided through New York City Aging and was supplemented in the past by grants to JCC. This year, New York City Aging support can cover less than a quarter of the budget of the health center.
Let's wrap it up, please.
Yes, I think so.
Thank you.
Whereas private sector funding has not been maintained due to the economic downturn. I believe our program should receive better funding because our services help clients improve access to healthcare, support positive health outcomes, including an individual sense of health and well-being, motivate appropriate use of healthcare resources, and reduce financial strain on individuals and their families. If you have any questions, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Laura O'Leary from the Homewood Park Public Library.
I'll make it as quick as possible. I'm Laura, I'm from Old Park Library. I'm on here on behalf of Brighton Beach and Coney Island as well. Brighton Beach is having a Women's History programs March 8th and March 15th. They're having a jazz program. I have Brighton Beach's calendar in the back and a bunch of flyers back. Brighton Beach has English classes Mondays and Thursdays 11 to 1. A conversation group Mondays 4 to 5:30. Ask a Tech 4 to 5 on Wednesdays and 2 to 3 by appointment. They have technology help on Thursdays 1 to 5, resume help on Wednesdays 11 to 2. They have dancercise Fridays 12 to 1. My branch is actually getting English classes starting next week on Tuesday, March 3rd from 4 to 6 and Thursdays 4 to 6. We have a bunch of we're having a adult art class that's starting tomorrow on Thursdays from 11 to 1. Already said kindergarten is starting Saturday, this coming Saturday. Tomorrow we're having a National Pokemon Day, so it's all day from 11 to closing. We have team DIYs on Wednesdays, gaming for teens on Tuesdays. We have our team takeover Friday, March 28th. It's for teens only. This year, this month we're doing I think we're doing like a simple pay for teens. Free food, free drinks, soda and juice. Everything's in the back. Come visit. And basically, we're just here to help you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. Okay, we'll move on to the elected officials. Olga. From Jessica State Senator Jessica Sullivan.
Good evening, everyone. Greetings from Senator Stanton. And by the way, thank you for the oath presentation. We do have several events with oath, and they're very helpful to our constituents, and they have helped them in the past. So, look up our office, and we do have an event posted every now and then. We post events. Okay, we do have a couple of things that the senator wanted to share with you. Our senior citizen homeowners exemptions event with the Department of Finance was a huge success. But I wanted to remind you that the deadline to apply or recertify is March 17th. And if you still need assistance, please reach our office. Our Black History Month event celebrating Black excellence in education, along with Congressman Jeffries, is on Friday, February 28th, beginning 6 p.m. sharp at the Coney Island YMCA. And if you haven't responded and you plan on going, please contact our office. Next, March is Women's History Month, and we are having our celebration. So that will be Friday, March 21st at 5:30 at PS 188, 3314 Neptune Avenue. And both events you could respond to Emmanuel at nysenate.gov at 718-484-3216 if you want to respond by phone. I left the flyers on the back table along with our cards. If there's anything else that we could help you with, personal or just contact our office. We are there for you. Okay, so our cards are on the back table. Okay, if you're on social media, look up Senator Stanton. She will keep you updated on what's going on in Albany, South Brooklyn, and Staten Island. She does post daily. Okay, so look the senator up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olga. Anybody here from Assemblyman Alec Crassy's office? Okay, anybody here from Councilmember Ina Varnaclo's? Senator Ahmed, Councilmember Justin Brannan's.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Samara Ahmed, Deputy Chief of Staff for Councilman Justin Brennan. It is always an honor to be here at CV 13. We have had a few events that I just want to speak a bit about. We did ice skating for kids February 18th and 19th. They were off from school that day, and it was a really fun opportunity. And I thank all of our government partners for collaborating with us. There were plenty of snacks. Kids were well fed. And they got to burn off some of that energy doing some ice skating. And we hold that event annually, December and February, so we look forward to doing that again in December. This past Monday, Councilman Brannan had a Black History Month celebration at the New York Aquarium. It was an amazing opportunity to honor Bishop Hobbs, Dr. Dulande Louis of the Trauma Recovery Center, and Daniel Richardson, a educator at PS 329 who passed away in 2023. We also honored 2 students from Liberation High School, and it was a great moment to say that we remember Black history, but we also set forth and make sure we continue those legacies and stories for the next generations to come. It is budget season at City Hall. Councilman Brannan is gearing up for all of the budget hearings that are taking place. You can actually participate in these hearings and submit your own testimony in the various committees at City Hall. If you'd like more information on that, please get in touch with me. I can provide you information on how you can sign up for testimony and help guide you in what committees there are, what dates, and the whole calendar as they head into budget season. And the budget will be passed at the end of the fiscal year, so by July 1st. Our next event is, I believe Tommy mentioned this, on March 15th. It's a Women History Month. If you are interested, please call our office for more information and to RSVP. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Senator. Okay, Sergi Cooper from Controller's Office. Hassan from Borough President's Office.
Hi, good evening, City 13. Hassan here from BP Reynoso. Good to see everyone here. Opening with the good news. Thank everyone who made any contribution in forcing their neighbors and friends to apply for the board. We actually have a record number of applications this year, including from City 13. So that's wonderful. Every year I think we're making great progress. More people are showing a willingness and an appetite to join their local board. So amazing, great. April 10th, we're going to have the State of the Borough. We had the State of the State and the city. It was Brooklyn time. State of the Borough, April 10th at the Boys and Girls High School in Bed-Stuy. Quite a trek, I know, but if you want to know about the recap, all the work that we have done, it's quite a few, trust me. I know Borough Hall is in downtown Brooklyn. People think that we may not do as much work, but it's along this road. Feats, small and big. So if you want to know them, and just want to know our roadmap for the future, all the work that we will be doing this year, please attend. RSVP flags at the back, quick QR code to RSVP. So April 10th program starting at 7, doors open at 6. Yeah. That's one. Number 2, I think that's just a great opportunity for, like, I know there are a number of cultural nonprofits in Coney and Brighton Beach. So there is a grant program from the New York City Tourism Foundation, which is accepting applications for the 2025 Borough Culture Grant Program. It can help with marketing and promotion of arts and cultural programs and events. Deadline is March 3. I'm just saying it because I know small and medium size nonprofits pretty much always on the hunt for funding. So, you know, please let them know about this really good opportunity. Deadline March 3rd. That's a grant from the New York City Tourism Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Okay, now we'll move on to the approval of minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second. Barbara.
Anthony Batista. Anitra Blau. Gabriel Glenda. Lakeisha Bowers. Patricia Brown. Deborah Carter. Marion Cleaver.
Yes.
Joe Perez. Charlene Davis. Lucy Mujica Diaz. Lolita Divalova.
Yes.
Jennifer Dublin.
Yes.
Mohammed El Nagar.
Yes.
Susan Flashenberg. Alga Fort.
Yes.
Taj Graham. Selena Grant.
Yes.
Ronald Greenberg.
Yes.
Iram Hanif. Linda Harrison.
Yes.
Jeannie Hernandez. Amaryllis Herrera.
Yes.
Yuri Krasner.
Yes.
Angela Kravchenko. Lena Mackin. Minnie Mantita.
Yes.
Mark Vernon.
Yes.
Maria Montalvo.
Yes.
Alan Newman.
Yes.
Pat O'Brien. Robin Harrison.
Yes.
Nadra.
Yes.
Milagros Quillis. Sam Rinkowski.
Yes.
Lane Maurice Robertson.
Yes.
Michael Russo.
Yes.
Jeffrey Sanor.
Yes.
Fran Schwartz.
Yes.
Tatiana Siegel.
Yes.
Pervez Siddiqui. Michael Silverman.
Yes.
Pat Singer.
Yes.
Sheila Smalls.
Yes.
Vladislav Sector.
Yes.
Jack Subin. Dennis Vidaris.
Yes.
Joanne Weiss. Annette Wesley.
Yes.
Sidra Zafar. Svetlana Zelenskaya.
And before we start with the next chairman person's report, I just want to thank the 60th precinct community affairs. Shannon, thank you very much. It's a little different than the last meeting.
We have to thank Jeff, we have to thank you for controlling that meeting last week.
I did the best I could.
You did a very good job.
Thank you. The chairperson's report, last week was the grand opening of the Ida G. Israel Health Center, which is part of South Brooklyn Health Center. It's located at 1607 Surf Avenue. It offers family, health, and pediatric services. Just be aware that they do not provide walk-in services. You need an appointment there. You can reach them at 844-692-4692. And at next month's meeting, we'll have a speaker from IG Israel to provide more information about the services that they will provide. There are new residential buildings coming to the south side of Surf Avenue, and the H-Star skating rink is going to be updated. Development of this land was part of the 2009 rezoning. There are several parcels of lands between West 22nd and the ballpark. The first parcel of land that will be developed is on Surf Avenue near West 22nd Street on what is now the parking lot. A parking will be included in the new development. The New York City Economic Development Corporation, EDC, is the lead agency, and they will be coming to the next month's meeting to do a presentation and provide more information. On March 10th at 6 p.m., the borough president will hold a public hearing about the demapping for the Coney Casino. This meeting will be held at Borough Hall. You will be able to watch the meeting online, but you will not be able to speak online. You can submit written testimony, or you can speak in person at the meeting. Ramadan will begin on March 1st. We have a few more days of Black History Month, and spring will be here before you know it. Thank you very much. Eddie, District Manager report.
Okay, real quick, as you know, there was a lot of events happening in the area. I see, like, over there. Thank you very much to the councilman and, the senator for sponsoring this year. Black History Month, as you know, there's two more events coming up on Friday. One is, from the NIA, and the other one is from Jessica Stanton Hidden Justice, thank you. Also, tomorrow night, we're gonna have a talent show, at the Birch High School, it's $10 a ticket, you can purchase it at the door, or you can still purchase it at the door, from 5 to 8. Women's History Month, as you heard, there's been a lot of events, we're gonna be putting that in our newsletter. As you can see, there's construction on Neptune Avenue, Circuit Avenue, and West 16th Street. It's horrendous, but it has to be done. They're doing restoration now, so once it's finished, that's all is gonna happen on that block. It's been a nightmare, I've seen it, they went to the south side, now they're on the north side. It's gonna continue until at least May, because we're gonna try to get this done sooner than later, because once summer begins, it's gonna be crazy. Speaking of that, phase 4 is coming in shortly. We're gonna have a meeting on that. Phase 4 is from West 12th Street all the way to Ocean Parkway. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but you guys gonna hear them speak about it from TDC in future, and you're gonna, of course, break into different phases, so that it won't inconvenience the people from east to west and west to east. Also, okay, in your package, you have the district meetings, that we put back out in October. As you can see, the responses from each agency is different this year. They actually wrote the word, which we weren't very happy with, it's either, remove request, which we're like, that doesn't sound appropriate, because the need is still there. Why do you need to remove the request? We spoke to the state of planning, they mentioned that this is a whole new program, and that wording is incorrect, what they put in. So anything that they said to remove requests, ignore it, we're gonna put it back in because it's still a need. Certain things in there, like the continued support, which is like dog run that's gonna come in as a part. It's still in there. They asked us to remove the request. It's not finished yet, so it's still gonna be in there. Other than that, we're going to pursue these, the needs here. Hopefully they'll work it into the budget. We can, only hope that, the budget doesn't get cut any further. Other than that, that's about it, right? On this way.
Okay, treasurer's report.
Good evening. Second quarter treasurer's report, the expenditure for general supply, $89.75. For cleaning supply, $41.82. Security camera repairs, $425. Food for district cabinet meeting, $86.42. Local travel expenses, $400. Telecommunication maintenance, $87. Cleaning services, $875. Rent, $16,546.90. And payroll services, $81,053.29. Total for second quarter, $99,605.18. If you have any questions about the expenditures, you can reach out to the office, send an email to radio, or reach out to myself. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, communications and correspondence, Milagros? Nothing, okay. Many reports. Gary, move the street closing.
State closing committee had a meeting on Monday, February 10th. Number of events were brought to the meeting to discuss. Event number 1, Brighton Beach Family Day. Second event, 48th annual Brighton Jubilee. Third event, Coney Island YMCA Community Health Fair. Event number 4, Church Annual Festival. Event number 5, Brooklyn Heft Marathon Running Race. Event number 6, we skip it for now because applicant didn't show up. It was tabled to the general meeting. Event number 7, Nathan's July 4th hot dog eating contest, and event number 8 for the third annual Mermaid Day Parade. So committee motion carried on all the events and roll call on file with city. All those events were held before and we received no complaints on any of the events.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on this as one package, since they were all voted for. So we can take, if you,
Before the vote,
who's that?
Leonard Robertson.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Okay, so I'm looking at the votes in favor. So this committee is one of the smallest committees that we have, only 3 or 4 people.
Approximately five people.
Okay, I'm surprised to see such a small number. That's all.
Yeah. And it meets basically once a year.
Okay.
Okay, Barbara, you wanna take it? Mark?
There's one that we tabled
So that night, so that'll be on the new business.
Okay.
The applicant is here.
Alright, so ready to vote, is to say yes to all, or you could say yes to 5 of them, and if there's a recusal, because there are some people who are applicants here, you can say recusal for that, you guys, okay?
Well, yeah, so you can go down number 1, number 2. Yes for all, but if you have a no vote, then you just be specific on it and say no for number 2 or whatever it is. Yes, Michael?
Let's get their awareness that they didn't apply.
What do you think, Kenny?
They didn't apply,
Not,
but they close the streets down too.
no, but they didn't close it, they didn't put in the application when this came back, so. They'll come later in July, August, but right now, we want to came before by January 30th, so.
Barbara?
What is the fact? We have a motion. My intention. We need a
Hold on, I don't, the motion's great.
Lakeisha Bowers. Yes, to all. Patricia Brown. Marion Cleaver. Yes, to all. Lolita Divalova. Yes, to all. Jennifer Dublin. Yes, to all. Mohammed Al Nagar.
Yes, so.
Alga Ford.
Yes, to all.
Selena Grant.
Yes, to all.
Ronald Greenberg.
Yes, to all.
Linda Harrison.
Yes, to 7, can I do one of the modifications?
Notification, yes or no?
7. 1 second, 1 to know.
Which one was the no?
8. Number 8. Yeah.
Okay, so. Okay, so it's. No to.
So it's gonna take.
No to 8. Okay. Amaryllis Herrera. Yes, to all. Yuri Krasner.
Yes, to all.
Angela Kravchenko.
Yes, to all.
Minnie Mejia.
Yes, to all.
Mark Mernick.
Yes, to all.
Maria Montalvo.
Yes, to all.
Alan Newman.
Yes.
Robin Harrison.
Yes, to all.
Nadra.
Yes, to all.
Milagros Willis. No. 8. Cameron Cuffey.
Yes.
Lenny Morris Robertson.
Yes, except for 6 and 8.
What,
Yeah.
6?
Say that again.
This is gonna be discussed later.
6 is gonna be discussed.
No, but why would you say yes to all?
Except for 6. No,
Six is gonna be on the new business.
Say yes for all. 6 is not in the voting. So
6 is not
say
in the
no to 6 and 8.
Okay, put that down.
6 and what?
Eight.
Michael Russo,
Yes to all.
Jeffrey Sanwa,
Yes to all.
Fran Schwartz. Tatiana Siegel. Yes to all. Michael Silverman,
Yes to all.
Pat Singer.
Myself, I'm number two, and I say yes, I'm gonna.
Okay. Sheila Small.
Yes, to all except the number three.
Okay. Marvin. Vladislav Zvekta.
Yes to all. Wait, for you're the sponsor for that day, for the number one.
Not me.
Is that, okay, then, delay.
Dennis Maderas.
Yes to all.
Annette Wesley.
Yes, to all.
Svetlana Zonskaya.
Yes, to all.
Okay, next, let's see, is the licensing committee, Olga Fort.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olga Fort. I'm a vice chair of the licensing committee. And today we have a few applications. First, we have two new full liquor license applications. The first one is for 3145 B4 LLC located at 3145 Brighton 4th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11235. And the second one is for Tatiana Holding Corp., DBA Tatiana Restaurant and Nightclub, located at 3152 Brighton 6th Street, Store 7, Brooklyn, New York, 11235. The committee voted in favor for these applications. For the first one, it's 7 in favor, 0 opposed, and 0 abstentions. For the Tatiana Restaurant, 7 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 abstention. We can vote on both of them, I believe, at the same time, and if we are gonna make a positive motion, so if you vote yes, please say yes to both. If you're voting no, you can say for the first one or the second one. Yeah.
Lakeisha Bowers.
Yes.
To all. Patricia Brown. Marion Cleaver. Lolita Jabalova.
Yes, to all.
Jennifer Dublin.
Yes, to all.
Mohammed Al-Nagar.
Yes.
Olga Fort.
Yes to both.
Selena Grant. Ronald Greenberg.
Yes to all.
Linda Harrison.
Yes, to all.
Amaryllis Herrera. Yuri Krasner.
Yes.
Angela Pavchenko. Minnie Manfida.
Yes, to both.
Mark Murnick.
Yes to both.
Alan Newman.
Yes to both.
Robin Parasite.
Yes, to both.
Nadra.
Yes, to both.
Milagros Phyllis. Sam Rutkowski.
Yes to both.
Leonard Maurice Robertson.
Yes.
Michael Russo.
Yes to both.
Jeffrey Sanwa.
Yes to both.
Fran Schwartz.
Yes, to both.
Tatiana Siegel.
Yes, to both.
Michael Silverman.
Yes to both.
Pat Singer.
Yes, to both.
Sheila Small.
Yes.
Vladislav Spector.
Yes to both.
Dennis Vidaris.
Yes. To both, yes.
Annette Wesley.
Yes, to both.
Svetlana Zelenskaya.
Yes, moved.
Okay. The next application is presented as FYI, and it's dining out NYC application for Roadway Cafe. It is for Bar Cafe Chevrolet Inc., DBA Memories Cafe, located at 2611 Bath Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11214. Based on the 60th precinct report, the committee decided to submit recommendations to the City Department of Transportation. 60th precinct received 24 calls to 311 for various complaints. And the committee voted 8 in favor, 0 opposed, and 0 abstention for the negative recommendations that the board is going to submit. The next application is new cannabis adult use retail dispensary license application for Metro Heights LLC, located at 1608 Mermaid Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11224. The committee believes that although the business location exceeds 500 feet from educational institutions and houses of worship, the location is inappropriate. The committee vote was on the motion in favor 0, opposed 7, abstention 1. So the motion to approve failed. We are gonna vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Illustration. So for the first one, it said, I thought, Danielle, it said that there was complaints and stuff like that, and the group still voted in favor of it?
No, they voted
No,
yes.
That's not what it said.
No.
It said in favor, that's why I'm looking at it.
No,
the vote was in favor of the comments that the committee came up with.
They only asked us for recommendations.
Yeah.
with recommendations.
Yeah, what happened is, for dining out, we don't actually have a say in this, they only asked us for recommendations, so what we did was, we did write a negative, letter stating, based on what the, 63 cents given us, stating, the problems that they have. So there's no real vote for us to actually go for dining out. But for the cannabis, that's this one, you can actually vote for.
Question about cannabis.
Yeah.
My son has to take medical marijuana because he's very sick. He has a card from the state and everything else. And at times, because the way the state makes the rules, he takes too much flour. He can't continue the medication. He has to go to an adult use place. He's interim to help him with his disease. He has Crohn's and HS. And they're very painful. He's had surgery last week. So I would like to really know why they would think the location is inappropriate if it's not near anything else. And why can't we have some of these locations around that help people that have hearts or adults that help them with?
Alright, we do have one that was approved, TE Leads, at 1511 Neptune Avenue. There is an official, so we do have one, this is actually 1 block away, which is, we thought it's right on the path of the subway. Going to and from on Mermaid Avenue, which is a very highly traffic, for youth adults, and that's why we all voted against it. But there is one in Coney Island on. Neptune. Yeah, it is.
Is recommended by the state and everything
Yeah,
else.
it is certified, it's certified, it's legit. It's like, it is.
I noticed because I had to do it for my son, but the idea is this, we need more than one. Because some. And if there's someone as sick as my son. And the operation gets to get stuff like that. I mean, we need, if the state has medical marijuana and other things. And they give me rules, so before, because I can share it with you, I can show you dispensary goes in. Thank you first.
Okay, so let them go, put it in right.
But let's not have any forced conversations.
So. Okay. One person per vote. That's
Thank you for your opinion, and I believe you can vote the way you feel.
one person per vote.
Yeah.
You don't want to point out, that's fine. What I'm saying is this, I'm a cancer survivor, I had to have now, I have a breast cancer survivor. There's no way I could have survived without having medical marijuana and taking a pill form. My son is deathly sick, he might not make it to 50, because anyone knows about HS, just hydrogenized surface fever and Crohn's. You don't get better from Crohn's, it only gets worse. The idea that anyone would say that they could have, not someplace else, we're trying to live in a place and to make sure we have things that are needed for the community. Now, if you think it's too close, this and that, I'm talking about a need. I'm not saying that everyone's gonna run out and smoke. I can show you the cars, I can show you everything, the medical stuff, but I'm insulted that, okay, put in Bright Beach, they have in Bright Beach, they closed now, they weren't certified. If they want one, right, they do it, I'll be more than happy to do it too, why say it to me? I live here, we go to tea. So now, because he's, well, some, I'm just trying to help him out, and other people actually need it. I'm not advocating every place, but how can you be so flippant? When I tell someone's deathly sick, he has to have operations every 3 months for the condition. And I'm dealing with it as a father, I didn't bring it up before, I'm an aftermath, I am living. That I would get a response from another member.
Okay.
Okay, what I would suggest, you know, please, no cross conversations. Please, no cross conversations. I would suggest, excuse me, you had to say,
No, she's.
okay, I said no cross conversations, please respect that. Okay, let me hear me out for a minute. Can you hear me out for a minute?
Broke into things about attacks, all these things in the minute.
This is why I'm saying no personal.
This is
not
not goes to
personal.
the borough president's office about this community board and stuff like that. The thing is, when you're trying to do the right thing and be heard, that's what I want to be
Okay.
heard. And
Can I say something, please?
I am,
Okay? At the next meeting that we have a cannabis, I would suggest that you come there and express yourself to the other members of the committee. That's the place to do it, not after the fact. Not after the fact, Lennon.
this is not after the fact, we're talking about a vote. We're going.
So then you can vote no.
The idea is, that's what, I thought we were trained by the borough president's office, ask questions. Find out why they did this thing, why, I got the answer, but the idea is, the goal. Look at my eyes, I have a sick child. And I have to take a tax like this, is not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, give your opinion.
You have given your opinion.
But the cross comments have to be stopped beforehand, why do I have to be attacked?
I stopped it as soon as I could.
Do you
As soon as she
understand?
turned it, and I stopped it. Yes, I do understand.
Do you understand
Okay.
how it feels? Other people feel the same way coming to this community board and the precinct council. I'm 58 years old, I'm not a kid.
Yeah, and I'm 74 and I'm not a kid either, okay?
It's not about you, Jeff.
Okay.
It's not about you, Jeff, this is about your member who was
Oh.
attacked.
Okay, and I stopped it. Okay? We're gonna move on with the vote.
This is the problem. You guys, this is not the way to do it. This is why I leave. The idea is.
Bob, move on with the vote, please.
And then you wonder why people don't wanna come to the board. You wonder why there's no young people. You wonder why I get up and get upset. I'm saying something that is significant and substantive. That's what I'm doing.
And we all heard,
Everybody heard you.
and we all heard
But you
you.
wrote a whole missive about what happened and it still happened. If it's not Lucy, it's somebody else.
No, I stopped it.
You didn't stop it because she said it. If you stopped it, she wouldn't have said it.
I'm not gonna hit her over the head,
I didn't ask you to.
okay?
But I'm telling you, I am upset. It is wrong. And lucky these things are recorded. There's other people gonna see it.
I wish they would, and we'll get to the borough president about this too.
You already did the
Okay.
first time.
We'll
You did it the first time.
I know it's not the first time. Good night, have a good night.
That, very helpful.
All right, now you're out of order.
Is that the parliamentarian now?
No.
No.
I'll say it.
He's out of order. You need to talk to him, everything will say that.
Okay, I just want to say something to everybody here. This is not the first time that this has happened. Okay? Okay, this is not the first time that this has happened. I sent around a memo. Okay, I have it someplace over here that there is nobody supposed to do personal attacks on anybody, okay? And as soon as it was done, I stopped it, okay? I don't know if everybody read the memo. Okay, we're here to do business. He has a right to ask a question, okay, on the vote, okay? That's where it begins and ends. He doesn't have to give a diatribe about it. Okay, and that's the way it's gonna be.
I have one question.
Yeah, Michael,
No, it's about the men, it's supposed to be 500 feet. And
500 feet.
500 feet, supposedly it's going on the corner of West 16, and Mermaid,
No, it's 1608 Mermaid.
1608.
Not close to the church.
That's that's close to the church.
Yeah.
There's no way,
No,
that's more than 500
We're
feet.
gonna let them measure it, but we're going to vote on it on our part.
Okay.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
they gotta do their part.
They presented it as being more than 500 feet, and it's not 500 feet from a lady's house.
Then,
Okay.
like I said,
All right. We got two more ladies out there. Sheila?
Okay, first.
Well, first of all, it's not a question of attacking, it's, we're not cross conversation.
My thing is this, I live in Coney Island. 16th Street is trafficked by the kids going back and forth to Liberating High School all the time. Okay, we don't need another cannabis place. We have one on 15th and Neptune Avenue. So if somebody is ill, they can go there. We don't have to have them every other block. We need things that are more.
I understand your position, I understand your position. Someone else? Robin? Wait, Robin, come in the back and see it. Selena, I didn't recognize you. I didn't recognize you.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding right now, you're voting against what we're voting, what we're looking at right now, right?
yes.
Yes,
Yes, we agree with you against.
No, we don't vote against it, it's vote against
you vote, it's a positive motion, all motions have to be positive, most of the time, okay? So.
If you
The
don't,
vote was 0 in favor, that's a no. Okay, opposed, the opposed is 7, okay, that's like, you don't want it there.
Voting, and we're voting in favor of what the committee agreed to.
No.
no,
It's exactly, you gotta vote exactly for, do you want cannabis at this location or not? And that's it. It's yes or no.
Right. Does everybody understand the vote?
may I?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Michael.
There was a motion to approve the location. But the committee did not agree with the motion, so they voted in opposition. Okay, that's why you see it as 7 opposed. So if you don't want it there, you vote no, because the motion said to approve it. So if you don't want it there, you say no.
Exactly, everybody understand now? Okay, thank you. Barbara, take. You got, Robin?
I just wanted to clarify, because I want to make sure everybody understands. I don't think it's about Sheila being against him or not. I think what we have to do is just have a level of respect when somebody is speaking about something that's their opinion and they're entitled to it. And then you wait and raise your hand and you give your reason to why you think it should be the opposite without demeaning or even commenting on what the neutral person is saying. So if we all do that, because everybody's entitled to their opinion, then maybe we can stop these little fights. 'Cause it's
That's what my, Robin, that's exactly what my memo was to the community
I
board
know, I
members.
just wanted to verbalize.
I'm glad that you explained it correctly. Okay, let's go to the vote.
Which one are we voting on?
This is for the Just
Just the
one.
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 Lakeisha Bowers. Patricia Brown. Marion Cleaver. Lolita Divalova.
No.
Jennifer Dublin. And, oh. In case I forgot how to spell. Mohammed Al-Nagar. Alga Ford.
No.
Selena Grant.
No.
Ronald Greenberg.
Nay.
Linda Harrison.
No.
Amaryllis Herrera. Yuri Krasner.
No.
Angela Kravchenko. Vinnie Mankita.
No.
Mark Marnick.
No.
Alan Newman.
No.
Pat O'Brien. Robin Harrison.
No.
Nadra.
No.
I promise one day I'll actually. Milagros Phillips. Sam Runkowski. Leonard Maurice Robertson. Michael Russo.
Hell no.
I don't get Howard for that. Jeffrey Sandwell.
No.
Fran Schwartz. Tatiana Seagull.
No.
Michael Silverman.
No.
Pat Singer.
No.
Sheila Smalls.
No.
Vladislav Spector.
No.
Dennis Begaris.
No.
Annette Wesley.
No.
Svetlana Zelnskaya.
Oh, and Maria.
Oh, sorry.
And that's no.
1 second, yeah, no. Okay.
Now we have 5 renewal applications. And we don't have to vote on them, they're just FYI, to inform the board. The license committee voted to approve these renewal applications, and they're as follows. Renewal full liquor application for Wildlife Conservation Society, DBA Ocean View Bites, located at 514 Surf Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11224. Renewal full liquor application for the Clam Stop, Inc., DBA Pete's Clam Stop, located at 1322 Surf Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11224. Renewal full liquor application for One Summer Inc., DBA Paul's Daughter, located at 1001 Boardwalk, Brooklyn, New York, 11224. Renewal wine, beer, and cider application for Bernard Formansky, located at 3019 West 12th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11224. And the last one is renewal wine, beer, and cider application for Tequila Emilio 3 Corp, located at 3029 Steelville Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11224. Okay, that's it.
Thank you very much. Okay, before we begin, I just want to thank Vincent from South Brooklyn Health for his assistance in having us here for our general board meetings. He's doing this a very good job, period. And the officer next to him. I'm gonna make a little change over here. Any old business? Okay, before we go into new business, any good and welfare?
Yeah.
And
Thank you. So I don't usually speak, I don't really like to speak, but last month meeting, it bothered me up into this month because for someone to say that the amusement park don't hire, it really bothered me. I've sat with Dino and some other restaurants and they hire locally. I mean, I go out for flyers, email. I'm out on medical leave, so I can't say where I work, but everybody do know where I work. So it really bothers me. And then if you look at the data and if you watch News 12, when they're walking around asking people, oh, where you're from, There's a handful that's from 11224. Everybody else has come from Far Rockaway, Staten Island. So just be mindful when you speak on these businesses that do hire locally, the ones that come in, they're doing an amazing, amazing job. And they try their best to hire them again the following season. So Dino, love y'all, thank y'all so much. Michael, you as well. Yes, definitely. Definitely, Ms. Paul, you know how I feel about it. And the other thing to mention, back to what Eddie said, tomorrow we're having a Black History Youth Talent Show. We have some babies, 2 years old, that's modeling. Please come out to support them. The tickets are $10. There's free refreshments, and it's from 5 to 8 at Liberation Diploma Bus High School. Thank you.
Any other good welfare?
Your new business start before we go to other new business.
Yeah, we have to do business first.
Gotta go on something. Right, yes, fine.
All right, now that, because I brought up at the meeting this morning, I'm very concerned about what they're doing on the corner of Stillwell and Mermaid. They're putting trailers there and they're selling out of the corner. There's no building permits, I don't see any building permits, I don't see any licensing permits.
We did bring this up to the building department to investigate it, and as of now, they haven't gotten back to it, but we can find out. But we know it is illegal, there is no structure there, and they're just.
They dropped 2 more trailers this week. They dropped 2 more trailers this week, and they're doing work on them.
Right, we can find out from the building department, because we know that we mentioned this with them last month, they just haven't gone back to their. Yeah. We'll find out.
Beach stuff.
We'll follow that up. Okay, on the new business, we have another street closing. We have the applicant in attendance here. Good, and, well, that is, you can take the podium and explain what seats in the middle is. And after that, it'll be the final roll call after we take a vote. Oh, I didn't see you.
She needs the support, okay.
No, she sees in the middle. That's good evening, everyone. Pretty sure most of you know me and Michelle Valdez. I'm born and raised in Coney Island, and I've always looked to do whatever I could to try to make Coney Island a better place and provide whatever possibilities of things that we can extend. Coney Island doesn't have very good food. Some places do, but most of it now is becoming more commercial, corporations. I don't appreciate those, but you know, far be it for me to tell everybody what to eat. What I did notice is that through the years, we're having less and less mom and pop businesses open that can give you fresh fruits and vegetables. We have approximately 3 supermarkets with very high prices. You don't know how long their fruit and vegetables are sitting there. We have a few grocery stores that sell fruit and vegetables. And my point is, there's too many of us who live in Coney Island or anywhere near the Coney Island area to have to only depend on those little places and wonder where the fruit and vegetables are coming from, how long they might have been sitting there, if some of them are sitting out in the sun. Most of the time, the fruits and vegetables you're picking up kind of look like the bottom of the barrel. And a lot of times it's very high prices. I care enough about my community that I have met this woman and we've been friends now for several months now, almost a year. And she came from the bottom of her heart and she started to go from location to location of neighborhoods that are food deserts, which happen to be very much Black and brown communities that are suffering from this. and don't have enough fresh fruits and vegetables. So she started doing it in all different locations, Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, Brownsville. And she came to Coney Island and she started to do this and giving out fruits and vegetables and selling fruits and vegetables. And she did it in several of our public housing developments, which everybody was very happy with. She also came with Healthy Bucks, which helped the people who live there to not just come out of pocket, but it's sort of like having half off. So instead of getting $10 worth of fruit and vegetable, you're getting 20. She did this so that people would have the opportunity to see how even our community can have a better supply of fruit and vegetables. I feel much happier knowing that the fruit and vegetables I'm buying and bringing home, I know who the farmer is, I know where it's coming from, I know when it's coming, I know how long it's sitting there. So that is why I put in this application. She helped me together with this because as we were talking about it, I said, yes, I would be more than happy to run something like this at least once a week to try and have our community be able to come and have really fresh fruit and vegetables. Plus, she also does a lot of examples, and we include the children as part of helping us to sell it. Now, we sell the fruit and vegetables. You might not get that much of a discount in prices, maybe at the beginning, maybe not, back and forth. But the main important thing is you're getting fruit and vegetables. The kids are going to be learning. We sat down with Liberation High School, the principal and some other staff, and we discussed this issue with them, this idea, and they agreed with us. And this is our way of trying to have the kids and the communities included in what we're doing so that everyone would understand. Every single dollar that will come out of this is not going in our pockets. It's going back into buying more fruit and vegetables from these same farmers who come from many different locations. The same money is going right back into rebuying so that we can continuously keep stocking up. And the more business we're getting, the more people are interested in it. Because we put it online and we already had a bunch of people saying, yes, I like the idea, I like the idea. So the more it grows, the more we're gonna grow. So it could grow in locations, it can grow in days of the week. The point is, this is why I made this application. Now she will explain a little more in detail. Her name is Nancy Katz.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this will give you a background on us. Season Middle was founded in Crown Heights at PS 91. The chair of the board is the principal there. And we started when Michelle Obama started tilling the soil and talking about the obesity epidemic. And I'm a former daily news reporter. I followed the principal for 11 years. And anyway, he said we have to take care of this. So we created a program in the school itself where the children run a farm stand. They learn to cook healthy and fresh from chefs. We started a garden and we started a soccer program. There was like the 4 elements and an arts program. Those are the 5 elements that his school didn't have then. Why did we do that? Because we went to all the agencies that should have been putting farmers markets in these neighborhoods and they said they can't do it, or it just is impossible to do. Pretty much we work exclusively in Black and brown neighborhoods, and in every neighborhood we go to, there are not farmers markets. And so we had to think out of the box, how could we bring in farmers markets? Because the challenge is that farmers are small business people, right? And they're not gonna go to a neighborhood if they're afraid they're not gonna make money and they could take a loss. And so that's the main reason you don't see farmers markets. But so we had to think out of the box, how could we get the fresh fruits and vegetables into the communities if we can't get the farmers there? So we scoured, I think we talked to like 100 farmers, and 1 farmer agreed to deliver to us. And he's been working with us for the pandemic, I think. We do get from other farmers, we'll go to the green markets and buy wholesale and things like that. But the bottom line is this farmer will come out here and deliver. We have to resell it, and whatever's left, we have to take it back to refrigeration. We staff only with community members because the idea of the market is that it's gonna be sustainable. We don't have a mission to stay in the community forever. We believe the community can run a profitable farm market. And so we're just there, like, almost like we're fortunate that Ann lobbied Councilmember Brandon's office, and they were kind enough to give us money to start it, but it's like a startup fund. So the money, we look at it like that. So any money that comes in, it can sustain it, but if we don't get enough money back for our expenses, then it goes away. So we really need people to buy there. We always work with kids because they are the ones who are not getting the nutrition education and the access. So I think I started, in July? I think I've talked to, I don't know how many schools, how many daycare centers, to see if somebody would host this farm stand. I won't get into how difficult it is to do this. There are a lot of city regulations and things that make it difficult to set up farm stands. A lot of good ones set up farmers markets. But if you can't get farmers, it doesn't work, So we have created this method of working with schools to create farm stands. And if not schools, community centers or something else, or we're now trying to convince NYCHA to allow us to do a farm stand. So anyway, we went to Liberation Diploma Plus, right? They said they would do the farm stand, but then their property is on the Archdiocese. And they wouldn't give legal permission for us to be on their premises, unlike the DOE, which is the Department of Education, which is wonderful. So then I went to the Coney Island Library right next door because they wanted to have their students involved, and they were committing a staff member to get them to run this, because this is an entrepreneurial business too. The kids learn to sell, they learn about, a whole business. So the library agreed, and they said, yes, we'll do it. And so but then the next thing was that you have to get a sidewalk permit. This library, unlike the Department of Education, they don't own the sidewalk. They can't just say yes, so we ended up applying for a street activities permit. And that's the process we're in. When you do that, they ask the precinct and the community board for approval. And there were some concerns by Officer Ray about the collocation. But we kind of posted it. He was worried about, violence. And I said, we should make it an anti-violence initiative, which we've done in other places. Ann knows Coney Island, I'm just coming in to bring this initiative in because it has to be run by the community to be successful. And so I'm fortunate that Ann's willing to run it, and we have the library that wants it, we have the school that wants it. So I explained to the officer that this is kind of our last hurrah here. I don't have anywhere else to go. I have a community here, we have a community here that wants this market. At least give us a shot to try it. And if it doesn't work out, okay, we did that, right? But otherwise, we don't have another location to go to at this point. So it's now, what is it? I know the council member's office has been very concerned because it's already February and we haven't started it, but it's not for lack of trying. Believe me, I've spent hundreds of hours trying to find a place to set up a farm stand. So anyway, we're before you now.
There's one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. There's one more thing I forgot to say, since she mentioned, we are getting curiosity and agreements from other organizations out there as well. I spoke with the wonderful doctor in the trauma center, and she said, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll help out. I'll send someone out there. I spoke with, most of us know Buddha from Hood, and he said, yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. I'll back it up. And there was another gentleman from one of the anti-violence that also said it's a great idea. And you spoke, well, anyway, there's a few other organizations that all said, yes, that's a good idea. We like the idea. And this is exactly what we're saying. We want this to be not mine, not hers, but ours. We want this for our community. I cringe when I walk the streets and all I see is children eating so many things that are unhealthy. And meanwhile, we have the opportunity to give them fresh, healthy alternatives. And maybe if we start to get the kids more interested in at least trying it, we may wind up turning the table, and instead of every other person having so many medical illnesses, maybe we can reverse that. So this is why I'm pleading with you, please, I want you to back this idea up, because this is what we really want to do for the community. As I said, trust me when I tell you, the money, like I said, goes in rotation. Whatever we get in, we can order more and continue doing this. The more people that buy, the longer it goes on, the bigger it gets, and so on and so forth. This is a way to start something, and we can teach all over the place.
Okay.
Yes, now you can give me.
My question is pretty simple. How are these farm stands inspected and regulated? How do we know that the foods are safe to eat?
Well, that's a very good question.
Well, you can speak to the farmer.
Yeah, I mean,
Supermarkets are regulated, New York State Department of Health.
well,
Regulates farm stands on the sidewalk.
Well, that's a very good idea.
well, we get permits to the New York State Agriculture and Markets. We get EB, we apply for EBT and we have to, but I don't know, I mean, the health department sometimes makes random checks, I mean, but I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah, that's a good question, because like Grow NYC and farm stands, farm markets and things like that. I don't know if they have to get a seal of approval before they start up. I really don't know. All right. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We could check that out, and if I have a chance, I can come back with that.
But we've been doing it for.
Well, the license is for the sidewalk. The license for the sidewalk.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
it's part of actually something we pushed for. It's called a Green Stand Initiative.
I sell food, the Department of Health inspects us.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but you're selling processed food, right?
And you're selling on a regular basis.
And you're
with a-
selling
with a-
things that you cook and make,
Right,
right?
it's
That's
not
a
a,
different level than just.
and it's
having
not a
apples and
temporary
oranges.
stand. It's not a temporary stand. See, ours is just a temporary stand where you're gonna see apples and oranges and things like that.
We don't sell, if we were to sell processed food, we would need exactly what you're saying.
But because
Right,
it's
but we're not
fresh,
doing
you
that.
no.
No, I mean, the farmers regulated, right? So through the New York State Ag and Markets, they're registered with the New York State Ag and Markets, but.
No, Selena had her hand up.
But he's running the
Okay,
meeting.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. How big is the stand? Because I asked that question because there's a bus stop right there, right?
Mhm.
So the sidewalk then becomes even more narrow. So how big is the stand?
Right next to the library is,
It's,
what?
it's two, it's
19th,
basically.
19th,
we
19th.
submitted it-
19th and Mermaid,
We submitted,
on Mermaid, on Mermaid.
So there's.
All right, but next to the library is a building that no one is using anymore. So we're not gonna put the stand right in front of the library. It's gonna be a little bit to the left so that we're not blocking the bus stop. We're not blocking the entrance and exit to the library and so on and so forth. But we will be right
it's
there.
just, sir, we'll just start with 2 tables, honestly.
Small tables.
It's not a big footprint, because what we do is we make baskets of the produce and then we put the boxes underneath and then we refill. So
Well, I'm a
it's,
little confused there, because in the description, it says Mermaid Avenue between 20th and 21st Street.
No, it was a mistake. I don't,
no, I made a diagram,
yeah, somebody.
I have a diagram that I submitted,
I'm
which would
just
show it. It was
pointing that
between
out.
19th and 20th, I believe.
Yeah, it's 19th.
It's on record at the street activity. I had to write a map and get approval from the library for it, so.
I think we need to know more information about the location and.
That's fine.
I think we need to bring more information about fruits and vegetables about sanitation or something, because we don't know from where it's coming. And if, I see.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Selena?
can I just say something?
Question?
Okay, I can show you the farmer will deliver, we are doing it in 15 places in the city. 15 places we're doing this throughout the city, and we've been doing it for 15 years. So. I can give you the phone number of the farmer if you wanna know about the fruits and vegetables. They're the same farmers that supply to Grow NYC and Beaumont, okay?
You just throwing, it's not a bad idea about having.
Can you stand up, please? Okay. Thank you.
It's not a bad idea what you're talking about. I think the proximity and, what's doing and these questions are being asked, valid questions, you know that. But my, questions are going to be based on who's responsible for the cleaning of it, the sanitary aspect of it.
We clean every
The
time.
leftover items,
Goes
Say-
back with her to the freezer.
We're fortunate that we just opened a refrigerated space in Crown Heights, it's like 15 years. So the farmer may deliver there, and whatever left we'll take back to our refrigerated space. Or he may deliver to us and we'll split it up so there's not too much out on the street. Because we just got this, we just started this refrigerated space.
But either way, we box up what's left.
Everything goes, we work with the library on every place we go, we work with the institution, whether it's a school, in this case, a library.
Including the boxes, goes.
I actually will tell you one more thing, yeah.
every thing is a food, products that are being brought out.
Yes.
Yes.
And in terms of the cleanliness and the sanitation, blah, 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 you're responsible.
We're responsible for that, yes.
Thank you.
And I will say one thing that, I know there's a lot of concerns, but Coney Island has the opportunity to set a precedent in the city. It's very hard to get farmers markets and farm stands up in low income neighborhoods. And the library has stepped up and said, we want you in front of it, be the first library in the city to do that. So,
Did you ask for EBT?
yeah, we would need the library to, which he says he's willing to do, to tell the USDA we're allowing the address. So we apply for EBT. When you use EBT, you get double value. You spend $2, you get $4 up to 10.
Yeah. Right.
It has to be, but it's close enough. They're not going to, the point is.
Yeah, it's just gonna be two tables there. There's gonna be two tables there. It's not gonna be a van. It's not gonna be trucks, anything in the way.
Not a food truck.
Just two tables with a few of us sitting there, standing there, and that's it.
Anyone else?
day.
1 second. We'll go to Pat, Pat
Singer.
then Pat Brown, then Sheila.
I went to the point.
Yeah.
We have lots of stands in the right beach.
Yeah.
And I tell you how many times I've gotten taken and in my toilets and and everything. It's bad for, there's no guarantee. We're asking how is the food good? Your grandma, your mother used to go by and squeeze it.
Squeeze everything.
And I guess you learn that. The second thing, I had a vendor come in today from Jubilee. Look, and he's looking to be part of a market like this. He says, but he's got a problem because he can't get into the regular ones because it's all privately run. And it's very costly for him. So I gave some people to sit.
Is he a farmer or a grower?
He's got a farm upstate.
Absolutely, you can do it.
Yeah.
As long as he's registered with New York State Ag and Market. In fact, you get one more farmer, we have a farmer's market.
But he wants to get cucumbers and other things.
Absolutely.
Pat Brown? That's a good question.
Question about that, but, living in Coney Island, all my life. I'll be 81 in September.
Wow.
Destiny first, we need a fish market, we need a bakery, we need a bookstore, so I can read something. We need all these things I know we need, but we need to do something about it. We come and we talk about things that we need, and nothing is really, all right, they're starting something. But I know, retail will come out here. All right? We need police in the buildings to do verticals. Right? And we need people that hear. I can stay on the corner and talk for 50 years. Well, I don't think I'm gonna live that. But about we need this, we need that. Let's start with something. We don't even have a policy. Friday's gone, right? We don't even have, what do you call it anymore? A cleaners. Barrels Cove, left all the way to Ocean Parkway. These simple little things we need. We don't have it. I don't wanna come out after 5:30. I'm so glad March 9th, the time,
Changes.
People are, they'll follow you. And they'll attack you. And it doesn't matter what culture they are. We need a shoe store, or you can buy their slippers.
And sneakers.
Sneakers.
It's sneaker time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But you know, I would love that idea, but I have a question.
Can you stand up?
Because before COVID, we had the farmer's market right there in front of, right by the baseball field, every weekend. So it's not nothing that we don't have. It's just that it's not there anymore, and I think maybe they moved over to, Cognac or under the hospital.
That's a different initiative.
Tell her about the farmer's market doesn't give back.
But don't you come to my buildings like twice a month to get fresh produce? Because BCS gives it out of my center. So it's not like we don't have, we can always use more, but let's be clear. Because we're not desolate, because they do have, let's just be honest about what we're saying. I'm sure we can use more, but we do have.
Let me just make one point here. This application that we're going to be voting on is basically from March to June. It's only 3 months. So we're not like, they're gonna be here for a whole year. This is only for 3 months. It's only 1 day a week, which is Thursday, and it's after school. So it's like from 3
2 to 5, I think is what they do.
So it's not like it's gonna be the whole day. It's not gonna be inconvenient anybody, and this is a pilot, so don't think that, oh my God, we're going in for like, no, this is for 3 months.
Okay.
And that's all it is, and it's a sidewalk, it's not going to the street, it's a sidewalk.
It's not a street closure.
Right, and if they have any problems with 6-0, that'll be the end of it.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
And the farmer's market that you're referring to, they come here, they sell their fruit and their vegetables, they make their money and they go home. We're not doing that. We're selling the fruit and the vegetables. And like I said, the money is gonna be rotating. Once, if we sell $100 worth of fruit and vegetables, then we're gonna come back the following week with $100 or more of fruit and vegetables. Plus, like she mentioned, there's gonna be many more ways of getting more for the buck. Because we're gonna be giving out the health bucks, and by doing it with the EBT is also gonna give people more back for what they're spending. And like I said, it's not just about selling the fruit and the vegetables, but it's teaching these teenagers, these youth, some skills. It's teaching all the kids how to eat better, how to make better choices, how to run a market, how to do your own business, entrepreneurship, and so on and so forth. And above all, it's, like Ms. Brown said, it's something that's gonna bring us all together. I'm willing to have volunteers come and help me if they choose to. And like I said, I reached out to several other organizations and people I know, and each one of them is willing to come down and also have a seat at the table and talk with people. We just finished getting over COVID, so we have a lot of people who are dealing with issues of depression and other types of mental illness, and people are walking around not feeling well. Everywhere I turn, there's so many people with diabetes.
We got it, we got it. We got it. All right, let's get a motion. Maлагis makes the motion. Oh, you wanna ask a question? Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, okay, you're gonna have children there.
Teenagers, yeah.
Teenagers, yeah.
And also there's gonna be, things that are gonna fall on the floor, and you're gonna clean it up, right?
Yeah. What happens with it?
Also, anything like that.
Insurance.
Yeah, of course I have insurance, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't do it without insurance.
Okay,
Okay.
yes, motion, Michael, Russo?
Make the motion to go.
No, you gotta give the motion. Motion to approve
3 months.
the
3 months.
seeds in the middle, Coney Island Farm Market. That's the motion? Okay. Mark? Okay. Barbara, roll call, this is the end of the meeting with the vote.
Barbara, come on. He said so.
Sorry. Letitia Barron. Patricia Brown.
Yeah.
Marion Cleaver.
Yes.
Lolita Divalova.
Yes.
Jennifer Dublin.
Yes.
Mohammed Al Nagar. Alva Ford.
Yes.
Ronald Greenberg.
Yes.
Selena Grant. Linda Harrison.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amaryllis Herrera.
Yes.
Yuri Krasner.
Yes.
Angela Kravchenko.
Yeah.
Vinnie Mankita.
Yes.
Mark Meredith.
Yes.
Maria Montalvo.
Yes.
Alan Newman.
Yes.
Pat O'Brien.
Someone give me an apple. I mean, yes.
Robert Harrison.
Yes.
I
Nadra.
thought about
Yes.
bringing apples and.
Malaka
consider
Fuller.
robbery.
Sarah Kopsky. Michael Russo.
Yes.
Fran Schwartz. Tatiana Siegel.
Yes.
Michael Silverman.
Yes.
Pat Singer.
Yes.
Sheila Small.
Yes.
Vladislav Spector.
Yes.
Dennis Medeiros.
Yes.
Annette Wesley.
Yes.
Svetlana Zonskaya.
Yes.
Oh, and Jeff.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
No, that's a different organization. That's That's why we just like.
Thank you.